Wayfarer has alleged in their counterclaim that Stephanie Jones knowingly made a false defamatory statement. That is the line that really changes the temperature here, because in celebrity legal warfare, surviving the dismissal stage is often the moment a story stops being gossip and starts becoming discovery. And that's exactly why this blew up over the last 72 hours. So let's slow this down and get the facts straight right away. A federal judge did not declare Justin Baldoni the overall winner of every fight surrounding this mess. What the judge actually did was narrower, but still important. Judge Louis J. Lyman ruled on March 26 that Stephanie Jones and Jones Works could not get Wayfarer's defamation per se claim thrown out at the stage. He also let Wayfarer's implied covenant claim continue. At the same time, he dismissed 2 breach of contract claims with prejudice. Separate order, same day. The judge denied Jones' request to amend her complaint to add new claims, including one tied to an alleged secretly recorded August 8, 2024 phone call. That is the actual legal development. Not a movie-ending twist. Not a total courtroom wipeout. A real but limited win that keeps one of the ugliest parts of this dispute alive, and the reason people are zeroing in on this leaked phone call and play angle is because the March 26th Amendment order specifically references allegations about that August 8, 2024 call between Jamie Heath and Stephanie Jones, with claims that Abel secretly participated and fed statements into the conversation. But here's the line that matters. The judge did not bless that call as proven truth, and he did not issue some sweeping evidentiary ruling saying, yes, the phone call is now a silver bullet exhibit. What happened is more procedural. The proposed eavesdropping claim built around that call was rejected, while the call itself remains part of the broader factual landscape people are fighting over. That nuance is getting flattened online because phone call and play is a much louder headline than amendment denied for jurisdictional and futility reasons. That's why the story caught fire so fast. Legal nuance moves slowly. Internet framing moves in about 8 seconds. Within a day, YouTube titles went full throttle. Popcorn Planet posted, Justin Baldoni scores big. Leaked phone call and play. Judge shuts down Ex-Publicist. And it quickly pulled in more than 120,000 views. Perez Hilton also jumped in with a short-form victory lap, calling Baldoni's latest win epic, adding to the sense that a decisive shift had happened. Those videos didn't create the court order, obviously, but they absolutely shaped how the order was being understood by audiences who were never going to read a federal opinion line by line, and that leads to the next part of this. Public reaction isn't just about whether Baldoni got a win. It's about what kind of win this was. TMZ framed it as Baldoni's defamation battle moving forward. Page 6 pushed it even further, suggesting the ruling could expose more explosive messages. Jones' side, meanwhile, told TMZ the opposite story, that this was an overwhelming win because what they see as the core contract claims got dismissed for good. Same court day. 2 very different narratives. That's not unusual in litigation, but in a celebrity case, the split-screen effect becomes the content. One side says, major validation. The other says, look closer, we knocked out their centerpiece. And viewers end up consuming the legal fight like a playoff game with rival announcers. The judge's reasoning on the defamation issue is where this becomes more serious than just PR spin. According to the order, the alleged smear campaign statement could be interpreted as more than loose opinion. The court said it could carry what amounts to a ring of authenticity because Jones, as Wayfarer's publicist, could have been viewed as someone with access to the truth of what was happening behind the scenes. In plain English, the judge is saying, if someone in that position makes a claim like that, a listener might reasonably hear it as a factual statement backed by insider knowledge. That is a big reason the defamation claim survived. That matters for a much bigger reason than one celebrity feud. We live in a culture where image managers, crisis consultants, anonymous leaks, screenshots, text chains, and sources close to the situation have become part of the entertainment product itself. The public doesn't just watch the movie anymore. The public watches the rollout, the PR strategy, the denials, the leaked messages, the legal rebuttals, and then the reaction channels dissecting every comma. This case hits a nerve because it pulls the curtain back on that entire ecosystem. Not conclusively, not finally, but enough to remind everyone how reputation battles are built now, in inboxes, in group chats, on burner narratives, and then in court filings months late, there's another reason this escalated. Timing. If this had been a dry corporate dispute with no famous names attached, most people would never hear about it. But because Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Leslie Sloan, Stephanie Jones, Jennifer Abel, and Wayfarer are all orbiting the same war, every legal filing becomes a symbolic referendum. Fans are not reading it as Count 4 survives under 12b-6. They're reading it as my side was vindicated, or the other side is falling apart. That's how parasocial loyalty works online. People don't just follow cases. They join them emotionally. Now, on the phone issue specifically, it's important not to overstate what's confirmed. Confirmed. The March 26th order says Jones' proposed amendment included an Illinois eavesdropping claim tied to an alleged secretly recorded August 8, 2024 call. Confirmed. The judge denied the motion to amend. Confirmed. The order also references allegations involving Jennifer Abel's iPhone and the sharing of communications. What is not confirmed by these rulings is the internet leap that some devastating leaked phone call has now been fully authenticated and is about to destroy one side on its own. That is theory. That is interpretation. That is the online version of taking a procedural order and turning it into a trailer. Still, even the theory has power, because once the public hears secretly recorded phone call, it instantly sounds cinematic. It sounds incriminating. It sounds like hidden truth. And that's where influencer-era logic kicks in. The existence of an artifact becomes more important than the legal status of the artifact. The clip, the screenshot, the text, the memo, the voice note, those things are social currency now. They travel faster than rulings do. They travel faster than corrections do. They become identity markers in fandom wars. If you support one camp, the artifact is proof. If you support the other, it's manipulation. And the actual legal process is stuck in the middle trying to speak in full sentences while the internet is communicating in thumbnails reputation-wise. This latest development helps Baldoni in one important way. It prevents the narrative from hardening into that whole thing collapsed. Surviving a dismissal motion lets his side say, with real legal backing, that a judge found enough substance for the defamation issue to move forward. That's not the same as winning at trial. But in the court of public memory, surviving is sometimes enough to reopen doubt. Enough to keep supporters energized. Enough to complicate the simplified villain's story. For Stephanie Jones, the reputational challenge is different. Her side can point to the dismissed contract counts and say the ruling was mixed, not catastrophic. That's fair. But because the surviving claim is defamation, the optics are harsher. Contract dispute continues, sounds technical. Defamation claim survives, sounds moral. It sounds like the court believes something dirty might have happened, even though procedurally that's not what the ruling means. Online audiences rarely separate those things cleanly, and that, honestly, is why this case is such a perfect example of modern influence culture. Not influencer culture in the narrow sense of TikTok creators selling skincare. I mean the larger culture of influence, where lawyers, publicists, media outlets, celebrity friends, reaction channels, and fan communities all compete to shape first impression, because first impression is half the verdict now. By the time a case gets to trial, millions of people have already watched 20 versions of it, each cut to favor a side. That doesn't just affect discourse. It affects careers. It affects who gets booked, who gets defended, who gets benefit of the doubt, who becomes toxic in the industry, and who gets quietly rehabilitated. TMZ page 6. So where does that leave the story tonight? In a place that is messier than the viral titles suggest. Baldoni's side got a meaningful procedural win. Jones' side still got major claims dismissed. The alleged recorded call is part of the controversy, but not in the simplistic, blockbuster way social media is packaging it. And the biggest truth from the last 72 hours may be this: we are no longer just watching a celebrity dispute. We are watching a live contest over who gets to define reality before the next filing land, because the real pressure point isn't whether one YouTube title said scores big or one tabloid said explosive. It's what happens next. When discovery keeps moving, more records may surface, and every new document gets turned into another loyalty test online. If this week proved anything, it's that the next response, whether from lawyers, filings, or another leak, won't land in a vacuum. It will land in an audience already primed to turn procedure into narrative. And that means this controversy still isn't settled. It's just getting better at revealing how celebrity power, PR warfare, and internet storytelling now feed each other in real time.